Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Where's My Written podcast. I'm actually really excited this week. I'm really excited. I've got some great guests today to discuss a very interesting topic. So I'm going to bring them in. First of all, we have Shae, as always. You know, she's always here. I'm going to introduce you too tough. I don't really care about you. Yeah, blah, 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 blah. Next. But we want to get to is I want to introduce, first of all, Kat, my good friend Kat, coming in. Excellent. Thank you for joining us today, Kat.
Thanks for having me.
No, good to have you. So first of all, Kat is a good friend of mine. And she also has her own podcast, which she's had on Spotify for a little while now. It's really cool, kind of like a poetic kind of vibe, and it's really on point in terms of current events. Please go check it out. It's on Spotify, Anchor, and all places we get good podcasts. So I'm gonna let Kat go into that a little bit more later. But thank you for joining us today, Kat. And also I've got Shach, aka ShachSeven, coming in. Now, I want to go through done a good. Thank you for coming through, Shach. I've also known you for a number of years, but also as an artist, musician, vocalist, and I found out today you're a painter. So I've got some really creative people, and actually going back to Kat as well. Kat does crochet as well. So listen, I've got some very talented people with me today, and I have Shae.
Can I just jump in? I know why you would recognize Kat's crocheting. Isn't it, Kat? What does Kat crochet?
She crochets like knits for cats and homeless people, right? Some underwear. Is that right, Kat?
Oh, is that so? Wow.
No, it's like bikinis that aren't really made for water, but it's
Okay, for special purposes.
Amazing stuff. Go check it out. But of course, Dwayne knows that. Of course, Morty is fully aware.
Yeah, crochet by Kat is Insta handle, right? Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me just get pen right down.
And do you know what? I think before we finish recording, I want Shach to bring out one of his paintings as well, just with a glance at. And also, please plug that too, because we've got some creative people here. And I said, and we have Shae. So, and he doesn't do anything with her life. So, you know what? Shae, you don't know I love you already. People know about you, done know from weeks and weeks. So let's dive straight into the thing. So basically, if you've been following my Insta handles and what I've been putting up on my stories, I've had a little bit of thing about Onlyfans going on. Before I even go any further, because I was shocked, some people don't know what Onlyfans is. I was like, well, I thought everyone would know. So firstly, guys, I'll probably start with you, Kat. I'm putting you on the spot a little bit, but do you know what Onlyfans page is?
Yes, but it's not what you think it is. Like, I'm gonna just put it out there. It's not all like naughty adult content stuff. It's a subscription service, and you can put whatever content on there. So I've heard of people that put on things that are not anything sexual. So just disclosure, it's not always going to be something kinky that you're thinking of, but yeah. It's
okay,
I heard that.
You pay monthly to see someone's content.
Okay. So what have you heard, Shach?
Well, I feel like I heard about it like a long time ago on a less kind of adult way of thinking. But of late, obviously, we know the adult side of it has become to full prominence especially since COVID and whatnot. And people have been rinsing it. I've been hearing some figures from UK people about what they're bringing in. So I was like, where can I sign up? What can I do? How can I take my push? You know what I mean? Like, what can I do to just bring in some extra P?
Listen, there's money. And Shae, who actually has her own OnlyFans page.
I was just updating it.
Okay.
What's your content, Shae?
Yeah, what was your page?
My content is behind a paywall, and if you want to see it, not really, I'm joking. Yeah, right.
So also we've got an idea, we've got a flavor what it is. Everyone has an idea, and Kat, to be fair, is right. It's not specifically for pornographic or illicit or nudes. Keep it simple, right? Yeah. But let's be real. No one's going on there doing Bible study, innit? Let's just be real about that. Innit? Yeah, that's not where the money. I mean, that's
oh, you never know. There might be some religious OnlyFans pages, you know.
Well, do you know what? Maybe Kat, that's your new thing. You can start a religious OnlyFans page.
Wow.
But kind of Shach came onto it a little bit about the success.
Yes.
So even recently in Good Morning Britain, there was a woman that makes about £10,000 a month. And there's a woman I know in Sweden, I can't remember her name, I'm not even gonna try and pronounce it, I'm gonna butcher it, but who said she makes about £100,000 a year just from doing OnlyFans. Yeah, so obviously it's been very successful. That's marketing. So one of the questions I can ask this week on my socials, I'm gonna ask the panel now is, first of all, what are your thoughts on OnlyFans? Are you for it, against it in general? And I'm probably going to start off with you, Shae. What are your thoughts?
I think that anyone who engages in OnlyFans is going to hell, and rightly so. No, you know what? I'm not bothered. Each to their own. Each to their own. In all seriousness, like it's. If I could find a way to make a side income on OnlyFans without showing my face or anything too, revealing, maybe hand model.
Okay.
Yeah.
Absolutely do it. Yeah, there are people out there who are a little bit obsessed with like balloons and stuff as well. Like that's actually pretty. They're not ordinary, but the balloons are pretty ordinary. And if each of their own, she says.
Yeah, okay. All right. What are you saying? What are you saying, bro? What do you think?
Yeah, I think again, each their own. It's fine. I think if you got a page, you want to make some money, you feel liberated within yourself to go on and set this up for yourself and make some money. I think do you? Who am I to say, no, you shouldn't do that, or it's wrong, or do you know what I mean? I know in the clip that you sent, I think if she's a doctor or she's a psychologist, I can't remember, or a counselor. She wasn't too fond of the idea of OnlyFans, saying that some women, if you put yourself on the internet, then you're out there forever, and so it's not a good idea and stuff. But personally, I just feel like if you want to do it, do your thing.
Okay. You think a similar thing, Kat?
Yeah, well, there's like the side of me that's like, everyone just do your own thing. Like if you can make money off it, people are putting some of the content on like Instagram for free anyway. Like certain people will have some very provocative like images of themselves in the public domain. So you might as well make money. Yeah, exactly. But then I'm like, if it was my child, my partner, that's when you're like, sticky one still. Like, I'm like, yeah, each to their own. Like I would never like, I don't know, say anything negative about whether it's OnlyFans or sex workers or whatever it might be. Like it's a hustle, innit? You got to make your money, and prostitution is like the first vocation that there was. Like that's one of the oldest jobs in history. So, get your coins. But then I'm not about to make one, so yeah.
All right, but okay, but Shae could have touched on something, right? So let me put a scenario to you.
No, I didn't.
What?
I'm joking.
No, what? I mean, some videos it's going to stay, but no, Shae kind of literally mentioned that maybe it wouldn't be for the whole nudity situation, but there are people out there in the world, weirdos, that might send the pictures. Like I've had a few friends that I know, I'm not going to expose them online, but that met them and say, "Oh, I really love your feet. I love to send me pictures of your feet." And as a woman or guy, even listen, don't get twisted. Man, can make money too. It's like, would you feel?
I'll be honest. I've had a couple offers, but let's
go on.
When I say I had a couple offers, I'm exaggerating. But essentially, a couple of years ago, sorry to divert you. I was doing a lot of sales on eBay, right? And I was selling everything, like like stuff with tag, like clothes, stuff with tags on, and some used stuff. So I put up these Zara flip flops, and I thought I don't need these anymore. Maybe worn them a couple of times, but they were worn. But they were cool enough to sell, so I put them up. And I got a message from this guy, and he was like, "Oh, how did he put it now?" He was like, "Oh yeah, I'm interested in these, but are they like worn though?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, I've worn them. They're used, they're used." I'm thinking, do I kind of play out? It's not that worn out. Thinking he's just trying to see if it's worn out. And I was like, "Yeah, no, they're used." And he was like, "No, like proper. Like I need to know that they've been worn." And I was like, "Oh, it's this." So I was like, "Well, yeah, I've worn them." And he goes, "Oh, well, like, can you throw, like, if I buy them, like, can you like take a picture of your feet in them?" No, actually, first of all, he said to me, "Oh, can you throw in a pair of like worn socks?" So I was like, if we put out the price, I could probably do the worn socks thing. I'll throw that in. And then he was like, "Oh, actually, can you take a picture with your foot in them?" And I was like, "Okay, that's going a bit too far now," because I thought, I don't want that going around. I was like, nah, that's too much. That's too much. It's too much. So in the end, I was like, nah, I'm good. And then he just disappeared. But I almost had a career.
But you know what? This is weird. This exact thing. I've just realized this exact thing happened to my best friend last week. She put some clothes and some shoes on one of the apps, Vinted or something. And she got messages saying, oh, but I need a picture with your feet in the shoes. But I'm selling them. And there were nice heels, suede, high heels. Like,
listen, there are ways to make money. So this is, I kind of put it, again, I put it to you guys, and I'm going to come to you, Kat. So hear me. So like Shach's offer, like your friend, I'll finish another story. So the same friend now, she said that, and it sounds like I've got people that do dodgy things, but it is what it is. Basically, like someone messaged saying, can you basically wear this underwear all day, don't change, shower, nothing, fling it in the post, and I'll pay you like hundreds for it.
Yeah.
I mean, ladies, how do you feel about that? I'm seeing Kat's face. Kat's like, what?
Nasty. But then it's kind of like, it's not harming you. And to be fair, I think the thing about, say, like OnlyFans and that like visual content is that you could be identified, and then that could go to your employer or whatever. Whereas if you send someone some like used underwear, like no one's gonna know. So make your money in. Like obviously, if you can sleep at night, then you know.
With a conscience, totally. Okay with. Yeah.
No, you see me. I feel like no.
Will you do it?
No.
You go
Really?
I do have OCD, but no, I think it's a gateway drug to something more. And I don't want to be encouraging them to do other. No. That's
not your business. That's not your business.
Nah, all you got to do, I've had this conversation with someone before, and we were like, all you got to do is go to Primark, buy like a bulk of the cheaps, and just rock them, put them in the thing. Imagine if you're doing £100 a pop. What, 200, 250 a pop? Are you mad?
Talking about it's the business. This is business.
It's what Kat said though. I'm the eldest grandchild of there were like 45 of us, and most of us are girls. Okay. And so I'm like, for me, I'd be like, money, some surplus income. And then if it was my 20-year-old cousin, I'd be like, she's a woman now. You can't. We discussed this on the last podcast. Sometimes you have to let them grow up and find their way in the world, isn't it? So
yeah, it's a woman, man.
Yeah. All right, you two.
all right. So fair enough. So I'm in an iron about that. So let me move it on from there. So how would you feel, right? So we kind of discussed that, going back to OnlyFans a bit again, but it all comes out of the same thing. But how would you feel, right, if your partner had an OnlyFans page? And before you answer, right, I obviously put it up on my stories, and I've got a lot of mixed responses when I ask this question, right? So let me go through some of the responses that replies that I got to the question. So first of all, I asked the question, would you mind if a partner had an OnlyFans page? One person went, yes. And the bigger problem is if he denies me access to his page. So she wasn't for it. Wow. Someone was a bit, she's like, nope. But someone was a bit more freaky. Where's her answer gone? It was quite interesting. She goes, oh, if it allows us to explore sexuality as well as making money, I'm for it. I'm like, okay, all right, big up to her. Some people were simple. Yeah. Are we sharing the proceeds? So again, thinking of the money benefits. Some people didn't know what OnlyFans was. There probably was Kat, because Kat is a very good, innocent, God-fearing lady. So Kat, we're here for you.
The devil's cousin, or?
I don't want to answer that question on there. I mean, one person said, "Does it make me a pimp if I send my girlfriend to do it?" And someone else said, "So long as I'm performing too, it's cool." I mean, that's just a straight porno. Yeah, I know. Yeah, sounds weird. So so Kat, since you could have went on it, I'll come to you first. How did you feel, hypothetically speaking? Because I know if your partner had, I had to put it in there. Allegedly, like kind of saving from legal action. If your partner had an OnlyFans page.
I think there's two parts to that, because I think there's also not just how I feel about that content being out there, and then maybe people that I know will be like, oh, I seen your man on da-da-da, like that's weird. But also, what is he gaining from it? Is he enjoying the attention, or is it just the financial? Because if it's kind of like Philip stroking his ego, that's a bit like could lead into further, entanglements and things like that. So I just... It's just a bit messy. Yeah, I personally like need to be the main priority, and like no one else needs to be looking. So I don't think I'm enough to like not even secure enough, just not like I just don't want no drama, no stress. So I just would be like, nah, that's not me.
Even he's bringing you like, but he's bringing them. Say he's bringing them big money. Like, babe, listen, I'm making an extra 2-3 grand a month. We can go on holiday. I can buy you. I can stay up for a Birkin bag or some of those Louboutins. You're like, nah. You're still like, nah.
The content is so if it's like just like sexy pics, then I'll be like, cool, yeah, show your abs, show
Let me take them.
But if it's like nudes, then I'm like, that's like another level. If you know what I mean.
So if he's greasing his elbows with cocoa butter slowly and seductively, it's fine, yeah? But if it's getting a bit too X-rated, okay, so you're not for it. Shae, what you said? I'll come to Shaq last. What you saying, Shae?
I reckon if I met him and he was already on OnlyFans, I would have to feel differently about it. I don't think I'd like it, but I would feel different. I 100% agree with everything you said, Kat. But also, let's flip it and reverse it. How would he feel if I was on there? And so, like, it's a mutual thing. And then also, I would need to feel that I would need to feel I was a priority, and also I would want to be in on it because, again, gateway drug. You could be fine making money. It's just a fine, fun thing. This is to take my girl here, and then suddenly one day someone else comes on, and you're like, "Ooh, entanglement material." So, yeah, I don't know.
But so is it for me? I'm picking up on that. I guess one of the additional problems is that what is the man getting from it? Is it if it's like feeding like maybe an ego need or like a psychosystemic or psychological sexual gratifications coming from people giving attention, that is a problem for your boyfriends in that situation, right?
Yeah, but also how are we in this together? Again, this is the caveat to he started it after we got together. If he started it before, I think it would just be problematic for me personally. But are we in this together? Is he like, yo, look at what this person's asked me to do, or blah blah blah, or is he going into a different room at 3 a.m. like, yeah.
Is there a gender bias? Because I would say, so for example, male modeling, I guess, isn't as obvious. Like, so if you go on Instagram, there's Instagram models or influencers that women all over the gaff. It's a bit more common, right? Whereas I guess if a man does it, it's not as usual, not unusual, but not as usual. Do you think there's a slight bias, maybe before I come to Shaq, that for a lady's perspective, if a man's doing it, he's probably doing it for a bit more seedy reasons than a woman? Generally speaking, you can be honest. Stereotypes are allowed.
No, I think the same. So I think women like also want attention and want to feel sexy and will maybe do it for other reasons, not just financial. So I think it's the same. And like what Shae was saying, like the thing is, if say I was inclined to want to make my OnlyFans, like no man could tell me that I can't. Like, so I feel kind of a hypocrite to be like, well, you can't, but no one could try to tell me that I can't if I wanted to.
Hold on, you flip what? Come here, that makes sense. Go on, if you want to do OnlyFans, your man couldn't tell you can't do it.
No, can't tell me if I do anything. Like,
she's like, no, but you can tell him you can't do it
either. But I would just make it clear that I ain't happy about it.
Okay. Shaq, what are you saying? I'll put it to you, my brother. What are you saying?
As Shae was saying, it's like it's complex, especially the timeline. So if I meet somebody and we're getting on really well and everything's great, and then they say, maybe a month or two in, they're like, by the way, I have to let you know this, that I've actually got an OnlyFans and it's popping, and that's how I make my pee, and this is the kind of content. And do you know what I mean? Then at that point, do I pull out because they have an OnlyFans and I'm kind of getting invested? Do you know what I'm saying? I'm not sure. I'd have to really be in the situation. If I meet someone and I know that they're an OnlyFans person, then it might make me hold back, because I know the human ego is fragile, and I like to see myself as quite progressive, but I'm not perfect and I'm human. So, and my jealousy levels are a lot lower than they ever were, and maybe potentially lower than the average, but they're still there. So I'll be like, can I handle that? And I might just try and be wise and say, let me allow it. However, if we're together and they say I want to start one, then I'll be like, well, it depends what you want to do. Because I've
Okay.
seen some OnlyFans content, and some of it is vanilla like Instagram, and some of it is straight up porno. Do you know what I'm saying? So it just depends on what you want to do. If she's like, let's do it together, then I might even be like, yo, if we can mask up, I'll be honest. I don't care. I don't care.
Okay.
Morty, before you move on, I want to know what your answer is.
Well, my answer is
Yes.
boy. Do you know what? Okay, I'm a bit on the fence. So all right, I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be real with you. Like, so if I talk to somebody who's and I know she's the OnlyFans, I feel that relationship will always have a ceiling in it. Like it'll be like the whole "she belongs to the streets" kind of vibe. I'm not gonna lie, sorry, but I was being real. Like because I can't take it. You know what? It would also depend on the content, and it's so crazy because I'm not gonna be a hypocrite. Like it would depend on the content. If it was just like I'm putting cocoa butter on my fires and it stops before it gets too mad, I can probably live with that. Especially if that's how I've met her, yeah. But if we're getting to like internal close-up shots, like levels where it could make Pornhub, I don't know. I couldn't. I don't think I could deal with that. But if I was benefiting from it, I probably be like, all right, cool. I could probably ride out for a little bit, but deep down, I don't think I could like have a serious relationship with somebody that was doing that, because it's like you're saying, men are, and the thing is, women as well. I know, fam, I saw your gal skin out in all kind of things with an eggplant and a cucumber and honey. No. I don't. Sorry, I've thought about it too much. That's a lot. Sorry, but basically, yeah. So that.
No, not that. I mean, in terms of because
no. Because like, do I want to say this?
I mean, it's nasty now.
Okay, do you know what? Like, this is going back generations, yeah, going generations. So if you know certain things, you know certain things. But there was in our church circle of people of that went, because we go to a big church, someone who did end up in that industry. I think.
I didn't know that. I need to hit you on the DM, Jackie.
Yeah, just like saying that, and I don't want to get sued, but it's not something that I would know that well. Like, but I said, oh, did you know so and so did this one? So it would always get out there, no matter like how low key you went or how you left, or even if you went somewhere 5 years ago, but worked with somebody and they ended up doing some kind of madness. So I think you'll always come out. So I think to have that, it's a bit of a mad one. So I think just for your own personal collection, but if you're doing your own thing, for girls that do OnlyFans, you're go on.
I said for your home movies, your personal
collection. Exactly. Yeah, for the private, for the little folder where you lock away things, it's calm. And also, I salute the success of, like, I don't know if people know who Selena Powell is. She jumped on a No Jumper podcast about a few weeks ago and made some mad confessions about doing some really mad things, like getting involved with 7 guys. Look it up. I'm not trying to make this too offensive, but she is just out there in the street. Her OnlyFans is as Shaq put it, mad. It's straight.
She's on OnlyFans, yeah? I didn't even know.
She's got OnlyFans. And listen, she don't even care. She like jumping on.
No, I swear down. I never heard of her until today. I never heard of her.
Yeah. And the thing is, I didn't know myself, but for the research for this podcast, I had to make sure that it wasn't, I wouldn't know before. Yeah. Purely, it was like boring. I didn't enjoy it 1 second.
You know what? I realized. I realized that you two are really good at research.
Yeah,
really good.
Anything worth doing is worth doing well, right? So let's see.
That's right. That's great.
Yeah. So she's literally made a career out of sleeping with celebrities. Literally, and
she's not the first. There was an original. Well, not even original, but do you know Superhead?
Yes.
It reminded me of her, and she was the original in the early 2000s, where she went through the R&B singers and all the black movie stars and all the rappers, like literally who's named them, she was with them, and she exposed them in like 2 or 3 books in it. So this girl is obviously the new gen for like social media era now. So. But I never heard of this girl until you told me about it.
That doesn't really sit well with me. Like, I think there's one thing like making content to profit off, but then a lot of these people that do it that way, it's like they're living off someone else's clout and just like selling their business. So no one cares about these chicks, but they care about the celebrities that they're baiting out. So that I don't know. I think that's different.
I'm with you. I'm with you, but you know what? As I can, like, do you know, we have these topics like what we talk about. Like, I can say talk from the man perspective, so I can say, but as a man, that's on you. If you're gonna do a thing with a girl, no, we rude you. I can say that. Shae probably disagree, but if you're gonna do a thing with a girl, you know it's out there.
Not really joke. Go on.
No, but literally, like, if you could do a thing with a girl in that regards, like, who know that she's out there for the clout, is gonna clout chase, is gonna be like, oh, I'm here, I'm there. That's kind of on you. And to be honest with you, I think, yeah. And to be honest with you, to be fair, when no one's saying, oh, that man's terrible for doing that. To be fair, in them positions there, men can't really lose, you know. I'm not gonna lie. It's very like we don't really get judged too tough. I don't know what you ladies think. That's probably more Shae, what do you think about that?
Maybe a little bit. I mean, to be honest with you, when I watched the Selena Powell interview and she mentioned certain guys, I did look at them a bit sideways, like, oh no, it's not going to last forever.
Absolutely. You absolutely look at him sideways.
Like, I'm just kind of thinking, you're that guy, you've got that money, you've got that clout, you've got that power. Like, why would you do with this thing?
Yeah.
Why? It doesn't make sense. But at the same time, I know it must be the power, because apologies for the viewers who may not have seen or don't understand, but essentially it was two girls and they were saying they would just do anything. They're willing to do anything in the bedroom.
Anything.
So whatever you tell them. So those guys already, if they have like certain power, you know how you heard about these people and to the extremes of the R. Kellys and the whatever, where they just got all this power and they can just do what they want. So obviously if you've got this girl, these kind of it girls, and then you can just do whatever you want to them and they're up for it, the level of power they must feel must be crazy. That's the only way I can kind of, understand how they would do it.
And to put it in broad terms, I'll say it. So basically, obviously in the last week you heard about the rumor about Odell Beckham Jr. You heard that one, right?
No, what's that now?
Am I really that guy who just stays on Instagram not when he's actually working? Basically,
wait, when you say Odell Beckham, that's David Beckham's kid.
No. The NFL player who was famous for one-handed catches. The black guy. He's really like. Oh, I'm the only one who knows who he is.
Maybe I might know his face.
If I show you his face, yes,
David Beckham. I'm way out. I'm not involved. What's the rumor?
So basically, so on that same podcast and on that one clip I sent you, so he basically defecated. That's probably the best way to put it. Yeah, it was him. And basically, there's more rumors about that coming about him doing it to another girl as well. Like, he liked asking her to take. But Shae's face is killing me. Look at Shae's face.
She's like,
the thing is, it's not even the sex, it's more the disgustingness of the.
There's some warped parts of the brain in some people that would want to do that. But
you see me, even if I wanted that, which I absolutely did not, I could not handle the shame that comes with that getting out. No.
Might be part of the thrill.
Yeah.
For them,
Listen,
but what you have to understand though is let me cut you.
Your ego has to be you have to have a certain amount of strength and ego to be able to even stomach the idea. For me, I'd forfeit that. I'd be like, no, I don't have it.
But these ladies, they actually don't care. They literally do not care. Like they're on a podcast of 3-point-something million subscribers on YouTube. They're saying, this is what I do. They're saying to the host, we want to bang you. You'll get ask permission of your girl. We want to get with you. They're like, shit on me is fine. They're like, you can shit on me. I don't mind. As long as I just wash off, innit? I just wash off. And I'm like, rah. And they're like, I'll do anything that a man wants. And I'm like, so
but
they do not care.
Really don't care? Or do you think they're just like a product of this whole toxic masculinity environment and rape culture where women
I think that they don't care in the moment.
Yeah.
But there's deeper issues that at play, because I was thinking, like, where's their fathers? Like what do their fathers think about that? Like, there's levels in it. Like, if your father, you're gonna have a daughter. If you have a daughter, she's gonna be sexual at some point. Yeah, she's gonna do certain things, and you just don't, as long as you don't see and hear, you're cool. But if she's online and she's saying she's lining up sucking 7 things, and that's you have to ask yourself, did I do a good job? Do you know what I mean? You have to wonder.
But let me just, so if like, it sounds bad, like lining up 7 in a row, but if she over her lifetime had 7, then what? Like, it's just, people have certain like value judgments about like timescales. Like But if a
I'll
man,
be really honest with you, I have those value judgments.
yeah, I do, but I just
seven over a lifetime.
To be clear. So before we continue, make sure you understand what I'm saying. So in that scenario, yeah, what happened was in the story. So again, it's another Jumper podcast. You guys, for listeners who want to check it out. Basically, what she's saying is this, right? So she's having sex with a guy from one of the basketball teams. Yeah, that guy's phone rings off. His homies come through. 7 of them walk into the room. And then she continues to pleasure all of them, and simultaneously. I'm just saying to be clear. So continue, go on.
Yeah, but some people like that, like, you know, orgies.
Yeah, so
that kind of thing. Or just want the money.
Yeah,
I don't know, back.
the money. Yeah, exactly. I personally, again, I hear what you're saying about value judgments, and I probably do have some, but I also maybe have a lot less than the average. But for me, it's also about the wanting to expose it to the world. Like, this is what I do, and I just lined up all 7, and I made them all come in my mouth, and it's like, whoa, like, okay, pump the brakes, like, is everything okay here?
Right.
And the energy that it came from didn't come to me as somebody who just enjoys that kind of thing, and they just, you know, that's, I liked it. It was more kind of like, oh, this is what I'm going to do this, and I want this person next, and I'd line up all these guys, and I'll do it. And it's like, ooh, what's the energy here? Is it because you like it and all that, or is there something else going on? That's what I was like.
Yeah, I absolutely see. I agree with that. And when I was talking about value judgments, I'm actually just talking about the comparison between 7 in my lifetime and 7 at once, because actually situations change, especially as females. Situations change in the moment. I might get to number 5 and be like, I'm done with this now, and then I'm in a situation that is like, well, yo, what about me? Do you know what I mean? That's just that. But in terms of what you just said, Shaq, like, absolutely, I read that situation very uncomfortable for me. Yeah, because her friend was goading her on. Do you know what she did? Do you know what she did? And she was like, oh, you should do this. Why don't you sleep with this one? And that is a very dangerous place, I feel, to be in. And it was very, there was a lot of kind of peer pressure and a lot of the conversations they must have outside of there. Because it was a friend. I thought the friend was more innocent. And as it went on, you could realize that
the friend was
she's been there. She's been in these streets. She's been doing it. And she's trying to help her friend to, I reckon, to make money and to be like, look, this is, you know, you have those coaches that are like, right, I can help you to get a 6-figure salary from. This is what the friend was doing. She was like, I can coach you to get a 7-figure payment just by doing this thing. But actually, the ramifications of what the product is much longer than me putting up a couple Facebook posts on an algorithm, you know.
And I just want to come back to Kat's point, because I think Kat raised a very good point in terms of, like, so I think like in all things, look at entertainment level, move on, and we move on. But I kind of do. I'm with Kat in terms of like, because I've actually when I looked at some of the Twitter comments that she was getting on the Single Power page, she was getting a lot of abuse. So some people like, you know, do you go? Do you know what I mean? Empowerment, which I'm actually for. I'm actually for somebody like embracing sexuality in whatever way it comes. I think no one else will judge you what you should and shouldn't do, like, you know, WAP and all that stuff. You know what I mean? But literally, like, on a level, as long as you're being 100% authentic and true to yourself, do you understand? Like, not to kind of portray something, but actually deep down, when the cameras go off, you can't look yourself in the mirror. And I think,
and as long as you're not in a situation where you can't change your mind. Do you see what I mean? That's what bothers me about it. It's
you should always
actually, this is how I've made my money, and now I decide that I want to be a lawyer, and people aren't going to allow me to be something else now. Whereas if I was like a doctor and now I want to be a lawyer, that's no problem. We have to understand the impact of the choices we make, and that is just the way it is. Because
Well, okay, I know why. And this is a very dumb but obvious question, but why can't she? In theory, she should be able to do what she wants.
No. We're not saying no. I'm personally not saying she can't. No. Yeah,
well, I'm saying because the society. You're right. I'm actually agreeing with you. Like, you should be able to be a stripper and be a doctor. Why not? Neither.
Absolutely. And actually, there are people who are, but I think also because of value judgments and because of the society we live in, and because actually fundamentally there are unspoken rules about what is acceptable and what's not because of age differences and all of those things. And you're on Instagram, so my 14-year-old can literally go and watch you the same way I'm watching you. It's like there are a lot of responsibilities that we should personally take on. But my thing is, she's absolutely within her right to do what she wants. But my concern is always about and again, I'm never going to know this, am I? It's always about, is she really wanting to do, what are the elements that are making her do this thing? Why is she there? And actually, like Shach said, she probably in the moment is like, yeah, I love this. Until the day she wakes up and she does.
After, Kat, what were you going to say, Kat?
Oh, no, it was just about, say, like the whole kind of censorship of things, especially like with social media. People are always, whether it's music, you mentioned WAP or OnlyFans, and I have issues with that because I don't think we should censor the world because there's children that might be exposed. I think that's parents and communities' jobs to educate children to not just know what's going on at an appropriate age, but like to not allow to know what they're getting up to and to.
You see, I agree, but only to the point where actually, if that's my child, and this is an ideal world, by the way. This isn't in the world we live in. But in an ideal world, I would want other people to be aware and to be considerate. That's again not to say she shouldn't post it. That's not to say anything can change. I'm just saying actually it's a hard enough job of parenting and doing whatever, and I cannot be with my child all the time. And fundamentally, there are people out there who let their children go on at 4 years old, and they're no parental risk. So I want to live in a village. I want the world to be a village. I know it's an ideal scenario, but I think if we consider everything censorship, and then there are no boundaries, or there's no kind of, well, actually, this is the parameter that we need to work within. That's problematic for me, Shae, not for the world.
There are boundaries. There is like, the watershed, or like some things where you have to be over 18 to access certain content, or things get reported and taken down. I think that's right. That needs to be there because, as you said, like parents can't be monitoring everything that children look at and see. But also, if they never see anything, I think it's a bit dangerous because then they're exposed to it. And it's kind of, there needs to be conversations with young people about what is going on and making sure that they're not falling victims of getting, exploited themselves or whatever it might be. I think it's that, like that girl, her friend seems like she's pimping her out. Like, just come with me, sleep with these guys, make some money. Like that doesn't sit well either. So, I don't know.
As Kat said, naivety is probably equally as dangerous, I guess. So definitely as well. Shae, in your village though, would there be any sex in your village? It sounds like a very utopian place of peace.
So behind the paywall, not really.
All right, cool. So I'm gonna move on to the next go. I'm gonna come to Shach here. I'm about to Shach and ask this question. So, what are your general thoughts on pornography in general? Because kind of OnlyFans is obviously like another hybrid of kind of basic Pornhub X videos, things I've heard about. I don't really know what they are. But basically, But like, what are your thoughts on porn, Shach?
Porn. What can I say? I'm not gonna say it's good. I'm not gonna say it's bad. I'm gonna say it exists. It is. It just is. And in my personal experience, I've had some great time. I've had some great times with porn. Come on. My personal experience. I've also,
truth. Amen.
Yeah, and I've also, I would say, gone a bit too far with it in terms of a bit habitual with it as well. Do you know what I'm saying? And so it's a balance, a personal self-control balance you have to have with it. So in my current life, it's not something that I delve into because of other reasons in terms of thinking about semen retention and things like that, which is another topic. But I
got you.
but I feel like I've definitely learned some good things in there in porn years ago. Obviously, people always say that you can't learn nothing in there. And no, I've picked up a few tips, not learned everything. But at the same time, as I said, it can go too far. You know, you could be, if you've got a computer, like when I first got a computer and internet, many years ago, uni days.
You've been there, fam.
It was like,
black
it was a bit too much.
Green icons.
It was a bit too much. Yeah, it was a bit too much. And I just thought I had to be like, you know what? Now this is a problem. Wind it down. Do you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I think it's good.
Go on, Shae. Shae's hands up, eager. She wants to jump in.
I mean, I just want to ask Shach more questions, but can I ask the question? How did you know? 2 questions, 2-parter. How did you know when it was time, when it's like enough is enough? And then secondly, if it was you said you went past the stage of it being okay, and so it sounds like towards addiction type thing. How easy was it just to be like, okay, I'm done with this now?
Do you know what it is? In my experience, I didn't think I went to addiction. And it's funny, I was having this conversation very recently with someone, and I feel like addiction, it's an addiction when you decide, all right, okay, let me stop now, but then you can't stop.
Right.
And for me, when I decided, but that's addiction versus habit. So I knew it was habit because it was like, I noticed. I'm like, nah, like when I'm not even horny and I'm just putting it on just to get off, just because it's a habit and something I do every day or every night or whatever. I'm like, okay, that's a bit too much now. You need to stop that. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's, and especially when you're into self-improvement, you're like, all right, don't need to have these random habits in my life. Let me cut that out. Do you know what I'm saying? So for me, yeah, that was a habit rather than addiction. Do you know what I mean?
Do you know what feeds into that as well? I'm not kind of touch on the Shaq from a male perspective. Well, I think there's also I think there's an element of toxic masculinity tied to porn as well with male. So I remember when I was growing up as like 10, 11 years old, and I remember someone, I don't know if people remember the Daily Sport, right? Like that was like, it's actually crazy. We actually think about that, how you could literally access that so easily in the news agents was kind of mad in itself. But I remember someone put some pictures in it's happened in Stanborough. I don't care about it. I don't really care about the school. But literally put it up in the main foyer bit, so a girl spreading out. And I remember like being young, like, ah! And someone looked at me and was like, oh, you're gay, man. I'm like, no. It looks good, didn't it? Because you kind of taught to like make sure that you get, so in a way you kind of normalize it and I think maybe at that age you don't even really know what you're taking in and what and how that is. And so I think another aspect of there's the religious aspect of it is where like sex is taught as like, nah, nothing, never, leave that alone, like don't even go anywhere. That mum said to me I couldn't even talk to girls, so I'm gonna have to hide things and learn things like I'm smuggling alcohol or cocaine from Colombia. Like it's mad where just if you normalize certain interactions and through puberty it becomes normal. So porn becomes a place of just where you can overindulge. So I'm like, and you can get your hit. But I remember Channel 5 used to have compromising situations and Red Shoe Diaries.
Yeah.
Where, come on,
run that.
Listen, don't try to look at me and judge me. I know you don't. You are Asian.
Shae is like,
yeah. No, I don't actually know what you're talking about. I genuinely, yeah.
Nah, when was that? That was like late 90s, early 2000s, something. Long time ago.
It was this way before HD, boy. I was on a basic television, analog TVs, boy. Yeah, so listen. In a way, growing up as a man, it becomes a rite of passage. But remember, it's a rite of passage without any guidance. So that's what I'm saying. You can lead into that. But it has its uses. But I've said my thing a little bit now. So I'm coming to Shae.
No, you didn't actually answer the question.
No, I'll answer the question at the end. I'll come to you guys. I'll answer it at the end. What's your point? Don't try and deflect, Shae. Come. So what's your?
I don't remember the question though, so let's move to Kat. Not really.
No. So basically, Shae, is pornography good or bad?
You know me, I'm complex. Nothing straightforward with me, and so I wouldn't like Shaq. I don't think it's a straightforward answer. I don't think it's black and white, good or bad. I do think there are bad elements. I do think that it feeds into a bunch of different narratives and a bunch of different dangerous lifestyles and things like that. So, sex trafficking and things like that, and it funds things. And I think that when you can't tell the difference between whether this is a real 18-year-old and it's all of them have seen something on it, and when it's like, oh, it's just an adult acting, I think that's all very dangerous.
That's creepy.
Yeah. But outside of that, if it's like, you're a little bit like the person who answered the question about OnlyFans before. Well, if we're in this together, like, or Shaq saying like, let's mask up, let's do it. If it's something that's used to enhance something, or something when you're, a little bit,
like foreplay,
blusky, or you're feeling a little bit whatever.
You blusky.
No, I didn't.
Yes, she did.
Yes, you were 18th century sex talk. Yeah, come on. Go. Sorry. Go.
I wouldn't know because I am an eternal virgin. But if it's something that, why are you two pouting? If it's something that is used for that, I don't judge people who use it. I'm just very concerned about the other element because I think the line's too grey. That's all.
So would you say that you don't engage in it at all? Yeah, it's not for you.
I would say that. I would say. Hold on a minute. Hold on. 1 sec.
Have you? So to be clear, Shae asked, have you ever watched porn?
Have you ever
where's your phone, Shaq?
used the tool of pornography?
Where's your phone, Shaq? Check your
Shae.
phone.
Oh,
Everyone
what is
know-
what's going on here? Is she gonna say, "Man your business"?
What did he say? What did he say?
I'm not gonna
Don't
say.
you dare repeat that! Don't you dare!
I am not
Yeah,
going
say
to say. But do you know what?
Can you allude to it? Can you?
I'm never gonna say nothing. But
Okay.
no. She just told me where to get off, basically.
100%.
Oh, okay.
100%.
Okay.
But
Okay.
you know what? Yeah.
Mhm.
The question still stands, Shae. I'm just, actually, do you know what? I
you.
think the question has been answered. Let's just put it that way.
No. Listen, Morty will tell you, you will never get an answer out of me. I will happily let you allude to whatever you want. This is not me. Like because of what I do and everything, I am my brand. So you will never find any, unless Morty does some really great editing, you will never find is porn good or bad? Yes, it's good. Like you will never find that.
Wait.
Definitely gonna edit that now.
Yeah, I'm literally.
Hold on. Shae was talking bad. Yes, it's good. All right, cool. We're gonna do that. I'm gonna use that. All right.
Listen, if this was a private conversation, if this was like we were having dinner around your house, all things bar, but I'm not gonna have that conversation online. I'm just because it's me, Shae. So yeah,
I appreciate that.
Okay, do you know what? I lie. So we're just gonna assume the answer is yes. So basically, right. So I'm gonna come to Kat. Yeah, I'm gonna put slight on Kat's question a little bit. So obviously your thoughts on porn, good, bad, or no, and also I guess we've kind of Mishak's actually Mishak kind of touched on it, how it might affect individuals. I guess how do you think it also can affect relationships as well?
That's a big one.
Ooh. So I think it can be good. Obviously, I think I agree with everything that Shae says, like used in the right ways or in it's ethical and consensual and, none of those. Obviously, there's a lot of grey areas with the porn industry that have lots of issues. But I think there needs to be more female-directed porn, like because it's all very like oriented and like
let me tell you,
it's just not. As a woman, I don't frequent the porn websites, but I'd see in the rite of passage as a teenager, around the playground, there'll be, things that will show. Well, maybe not back then, but
Yeah. Speaking of that, I was told of one recently. There's a rapper called Young Ma. I don't know if anyone here has heard of her.
Oh yeah, not Young Ma. Yeah.
Yeah, she wrote and directed one recently, and I was doing my Instagram live. And a few girls in there were like, "Oh, have you guys not seen her thing? It was really good," because we had a similar conversation about porn. And I was like, "No, I haven't seen it." So when I went to look at this thing, I must say I was very impressed. I was like, "This is actually really good."
And it's in porn and like say you've got romantic films that romanticize sex in a different way, or music videos that sexually objectify people. Obviously, there might not be close-ups of like penetration, but you've got this. It kind of alludes to the same type of thing. So I think it's not very diverse, like in terms of who the audience is. So I think that in itself is problematic when you've got all the power in one group's hands. Then you have issues,
That's a good point. Yeah, because ladies, do you find that off-putting? Because I've actually heard that before. Do you find that? And I'll share it. Obviously, feel free to pipe in as well. Do you, kind of what Kat's saying? Do you find that off-putting? That the very male-focused, almost to a degree, it can be quite abusive. Some of the pornography that's out there can be quite abusive. Predatorial. Yeah.
I don't know. I'd just be like, this is stupid. The storyline's terrible. Like, what? Why I'm not gripped by anything. So,
Ryan. I mean, Shae's
I
right.
think it also. Oh yeah.
So Shae, do you want to maybe do some erotic screenplays for us? Like, can you
opportunity here. But yeah, I think there was a point where I felt like porn is very male focused for guys and it's like masculine, But But then over years, I've spoken to many females who delight in some of the most raw porn, like the gangbangs and the, do you know what I mean, the triple double penetration. Like they love it. Some women, because it depends on your tastes. Do you know what I'm saying?
No,
So, there's some ladies that like that.
No, I know people like that. Absolutely.
And they would probably either do it or just wouldn't do it because it's too much, but they would love to do that, and so they live through it in the porn.
Society can to expect certain things, and for men generally, obviously things are very forward and progressive now, where things are very fluid and not so binary. But I think, you know, growing up, there was a lot of shame around porn, especially for females to be like, yeah, I've watched this. It will be like, ew, that's gross, that's weird. But now I think it's changing, which is really good. But it's just not to my taste, not to my, you know.
No,
whatever.
I heard that.
I think in a relationship, it can. I think I haven't ever experienced it where it's become problematic or anything like that. But I could see that it could, if that was like anything, like if your partner's always doing something that you don't agree with or that you don't like, or it takes up too much of their time, then it's going to become an issue, no matter whether it's porn or another addiction or just always playing PlayStation, like whatever. We'll find something.
Whoa. No, PlayStation. I don't hear anything against PlayStation on this podcast. You know, I'm joking. No, I hear you. I hear you. Sorry, I cut you, Cal. I was being silly. I cut you. Do you want to say anything else?
Yeah.
Sorry, okay, no, cool. Shae, what do you think about what Kat is in there with the relationship angle? Because I know it's very silent at the moment.
No. I was listening. I'm busting jokes. I actually agree, and I think that what did you say, Kat? You just said something at the end, and it was very pertinent to what
about addiction in any form, in terms of like literally whether it be pornography.
Oh no, yeah. So what I was going to say is it's the same as if you again flip it and reverse it. I think that in movies and stuff like that, normal movies, you see a lot of the portrayal of men whose ego is affected or who are offended when a woman will introduce a sex toy. I feel like it's the same. So and
it depends, because I'm not that wouldn't bother me, but some guys would probably be offended and bothered by it. You know what I'm saying? I've been asked that before. Oh, would you be offended? Like, no, why? So I mean,
okay. You feel the same? So you feel the same thing, Shaq? Porn in relationships. What's your take?
Yeah, it just depends. If the guy is literally just watching it all the time by himself and just sneaking off and rare, which happens, I think is problematic because it takes away from the intimacy of the relationship and creates a barrier and creates. I think in a relationship, if you have too many unknowns, then that's where there's issues, like too many secrets and things that someone has to themselves away from the other and can't tell the other. That's dodgy. Do you know what I'm saying? That creates divides in intimacy. But if it's something that they enjoy together and it's like, oh, should we put that on, or should we make our own, or let's type in this category tonight and watch that and see what that's saying, then that could be a spicy thing for the two. Do you know what I mean?
Okay, little jerk sourcing the thing. That makes sense now. That's a good point. Okay,
no, reggae sauce, yeah.
Listen, exactly. No, I'm kind of with you. I kind of think my take is very similar to Shaq's in terms of, I think it's about how it's used. So I guess if it, again, and I think Kat touched on it as well, like if you're using in a way where you can come together, like to make things a bit more interesting, collaboratively, cool. Yeah, but if it's taken away from the relationship in any way, or using preference off, and again, as Kat kind of put anything in terms of that, it becomes an addiction that kind of becomes a negative stimulus in the relationship as well. I think that can, whether it be porn, whether it be anything, I think can have negative impact. So I'm kind of with you guys. I'm kind of proud of you guys. You kind of covered like the bits of the seedy elements, but also the psychological elements. Thank you, Dr. Kat. It's so good to have a progressive, intelligent woman on my podcast for once. It really makes a difference. So, so thank you. So before I sign off, guys, Slides is kind of a bit blatant, I thought. But before I start off, I do want to big up, especially Kat and Shaq. So Kat, again, tell us a little bit about your podcast again, and obviously when we're waiting for another one with bated breath. I'm kind of putting you in the spot here, but I spoke to you about this privately. Are you thinking about doing another one again soon?
Yeah, I do need to. So my podcasts are usually like spoken word poetry on kind of current political, social issues, just my own thoughts and feelings. I haven't really done one in a while. I think I did a few over lockdown, and then I've just been like enjoying having a bit of normality. But yeah, there is a new one coming soon, so just listen out for it. You can follow me on Insta, ItsKatsPodcast, and Spotify, Anchor FM. So yeah.
Cool. And Shaq, please just plug. You got some things on in terms of tell me what the things you're doing, because I'll let you say it better than I could.
So art history is coming soon in terms of my own music. I also run an IG live called After Dark, which is of an adult nature. So we have a lot of discussions. It's usually Saturday nights around about 11, and we just jump on. We just
live
fire questions. Different people come live with me and have conversations, answer quick fire questions and stuff, and we have a bit of fun. And we go around maybe a couple of times, maybe 2 hours or so. It's fun. And I have also started a career as an abstract painter. So come into a store near you. Now I'm going to start selling soon, but at the moment I'm just in creative mode, just banging out. So I've got quite a few, and at the moment I'm doing 30 days of painting. So every day I'm painting a new piece. So I did one this morning, yesterday, blah, blah, blah. So watch out. ShachSeven, as you see.
Okay. And Shae ain't gonna leave you like that. Sorry to talk. So yeah. So look out for that, please. And Shae, anything you want to talk? What? Do you anything you want to talk about? What you got any coming up recently?
Well, as you are.
Is that the time? Sorry, we got to cut that. Go.
I'm doing all the things as I always do. You guys know where to find me. I have the Late Sessions radio show Thursday nights live at 10. Good music, chill music, conversation, Boss and Joke. Morty's on there every now and again. I have Curate Your Genius. I have Sunny Days, my book. I have a bunch of things. Just find me, follow me, talk to me.
Okay. Oh, cool. Oh, I'm going to take my medication, guys. So it's time for me to go off and do that. But before I leave, I want you to know one thing. So anything from this podcast, Shae watches porn. Good night. Take care, everyone. Bye.